Sonny's Monday Motivation on Loudmouth Radio is a series of compilations of speech, audio clips, and inspirational motivational messages for all who choose to actively engage and listen to the content provided. It is my hope that the information shared will provide his listening ears a true glimmer of strength, light, and confidence within to hopefully give you more aspects to believe in yourself to be everything you ever imagined. What you believe about religion, philosophy, science, people, things, all these beliefs color your life. But what you believe about yourself is most important of all, because you can never be anyone else but yourself. And what you believe about everything else is closely related to what you believe about yourself.
This is the year for reset. This is the year for restart. This is the year for reignite. This is the year for repeat the things that you love. This is the year for recommit. This is the year for redesign. This is the year for reengage. This is the year for restart. This is that year. Hello, everyone. Hello. I feel like the words to say is, thank you, I love you too. I feel like the words that I love to hear when I come here is welcome home. Because it's home. 10 years ago, was it 10 years ago we sat in Canada? 10 years ago, this man had a vision to create this epic experience. I think I'd just gotten off stage. Just spoken. I don't know where we were. Calgary. And he's talking. And vision, when he's excited, talks fast. And I'm a visioneer, so I love vision. He's like, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. It's going to be epic. We're going to party. It's going to have as much party as, like, content. I was like, is that possible? He's like, we're going to do it. And he got a yes out of me. And it was one of the best yeses I've ever given. Because for a long time, I saw myself touching people from all walks of life. And I'd been doing it. I'd been traveling the world. But I didn't have an intimate connection yet because of the way traveling and speaking is managed. You just kind of whisk in and whisk out. And Mind Valley was the only place where I would come and stay put. And I would stay out of my room, and I'd go to every party. And I'd get on the mic, and I'd rap. My version of rap. It wasn't like what y'all just saw. But Mind Valley was that place where I got to see people melt bridges, melt walls and build bridges. And so I just want to acknowledge you, brother. I'm proud of you, because this part of the journey feels good and looks good. But there's so much more under the ground to grow this kind of fertile soil and this kind of harvest, all the plowing that you've done, all of the lonely nights, all of everything. I'm with you and I love you. And I try to say yes before he finishes the question. And man, the questions he asks, as you can see. So I love you, thank you. I'm excited to be back home. Mind Valley, are you guys ready for an experience? I am just going to continue what my brother started. I was over to the side like, oh my God, that's juicy. Where's my notepad? Oh my God. It was just juicy, from abundance no matter what, to mindset, to asking the questions. 2020 is a reset year. 2020 is about, it's not by accident that it's 2020 and a new decade. It's 2020 vision for 2020 and beyond. This is the year for reset. This is the year for restart. This is the year for reignite. This is the year for repeat the things that you love. This is the year for recommit. This is the year for redesign. This is the year for reengage. This is the year for restart. This is that year. This is that year. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. Now let me ask you a question. How many of you are hearing me, not the ones from yesterday? We had a lot. Matter of fact, my sisters and brothers from yesterday, was that not an amazing day together? Woo! Man, it was off the chain. I'm just super excited. How many of you, other than outside of that group, how many of you are hearing me today for the very first time? Ooh, hands up. Ooh, good stuff. So there's just a few that I need to set some of the guidelines with. So And I say this, and I said this yesterday, I'm not saying this because it's a shtick. I'm not saying this because it's the thing. I'm saying this because it really helped me move my life forward. I've been practicing cognitive dissonance for years. And that's what Vishen was speaking of. It's when you see yourself where you're not yet and you got to do something different to get there. That has been my MO. I saw myself. I used to stand in front of my bathroom mirror and I would deliver the most amazing speeches ever. I made myself cry. I assumed everybody in my audience was crying. It was like, that was good. Now I just got to go get books and make that happen. So I was doing this a long time ago. I would tell my son, I never use the word, we can't afford that. I never, ever use it. I would say, oh, my God, Jelani, that's not a financial priority in our house. So when he was 13 and his friend was in the back seat of the car and he goes, Jelani, you going to get the new Xbox 360? I knew it worked when my son said, no, I'm sure that's not a financial priority in my mother's house. It's like, yes, he got it. When I decided 45 days ago that I would pack 5 big bags full of my most fabulous clothes and shoes, and I moved to Nassau, Bahamas. And I knew my son had taken on the journey when I said, Jelani, I was prepared. I was waiting for him to do all the sagas of mom, don't leave me. And I was already ready to go, look, I did my job. You're 25. I'm gone. I said, Jelani, I'm moving to the Bahamas. He said, it's about time. He said, Mom, you've loved the Bahamas for a long time. He said, the world is small. You made the world very small for me. I have a passport and a credit card. I'll see you in Nassau. And so when Vishen talked about these things and this mindset, it's generational. When you live it, you leave it. When you live it, you leave it. What you're saying is wonderful, but what you're doing is penetrating. It's shaping the lives of those who are watching. And I realized that the bigger I dreamed, the more contagious I became. And so 2020 is not just about you dreaming big for you, it's how contagious can you be? Because when you're contagious, you are a force to be reckoned with, a force to be lived with. You are a legacy living. And so I love everything you said because that's living legacy. That's saying, hold on, I'm going to design what's on my tomb. Here lies a woman who. Here lies a man who. And oh, by the way, there's not enough tombstone to write it. So our agreement, our guideline is when you hear something that resonates with your soul, y'all already know you want to say it already. Yes. But we got to tell the newbies about it. When something resonates with your soul, I want you to say yes, but I want the second yes to be higher than the first yes. I want the second yes to make the chandelier shake. On the count of 3, we're going to try it. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Only at Mind Valley do you nail it the first time. I'm just telling you. I'm just saying. Now, that first yes is the yes to everything you know you can do. But the second yes, and I promise you, I don't care how many times I have you do this, don't let it ever get old. Let the second yes be to the thing that's being born through you. And it's going to cost you something. It's going to cost you more time than you thought you'd have. It's going to cost you way more money than you thought you would invest. It's going to cost you some friends who couldn't make the entire journey with you. It's going to cost you that sense of, oh, my God, I got to leave. I got to die to the old me to allow the new me to be born to my future. It's going to cost you something. So the second yes has to be higher than the first. Let's just try it again. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Let's try it again. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Every time I say something that resonates with your soul, I want you to say, yes. Every time you hear your truth, I want you to say, yes. Even if it stings a little bit, I still want you to say, yes. Even if your neighbor's not participating yet. Because they still too. Cool. I still want you to say. Yes, I still want you to say. Yes, and when you leave this place and you're giving your vision birth, you're giving your vision air and oxygen and life, and no one else gets your vision, yes, I still want you to say. Yes, I still want you to say. Yes, now, the next time someone asks you to lunch, still say. Now, they're going to say, why are you saying yes twice? You went to that weird thing with all those unicorn people, and now you can't say yes once, you say yes twice. And I want you to reply and say, if you want to get something different, you have to do something different, even if it's just one extra yes with a lot of extra juice. Yes, yes? Yes, yes? Now, don't wait for me to do this. I'm not doing that all day. I'm going to trust that when you hear your truth, tell yourselves, I heard my truth. Because this is about discovering more of you, who you've always been and who you're becoming. This journey is not about the person sitting beside you or behind you or impressing anyone. This journey is about working to blow your own mind. Yes, yes? With the way you love the perceivingly unlovable, the way you forgive the perceivingly unforgivable, the way you bounce back, the way you're not worried about not getting knocked down. Please don't do that, because you want to build your muscles. So when you get knocked down, don't sit down. Don't take out real estate and down. Some people get knocked down and they talk about it for the next 10 years. You know you could have got up, right? They're just sitting there. I can do this for a while, by the way. They're just sitting there. It's your bounce back. Because when you bounce back with something you didn't have before. Yes, yes. And so I came here, and I'm grateful to be a part of the tribe. I came here to not make it easy for you to sit down, to stir your soul, to stir your love soul, to turn up something, to till a soil in you that says, I am forever transforming in this moment. The woman you've seen before, the man you've seen before, I'm no longer them. I am transformed. That to have you fall in love with yourself in such a way you only give yourself the best version of everything. And everybody. See, I stopped by to poke you, to prod you, to make it mildly, to moderately, to significantly uncomfortable for you to sit in any form of mediocrity. For you to make sure you don't look at 2020 when you get to 2022 and say, damn, there was more of me to give back there. And I didn't. To make sure you're not keeping score. Keep track, but don't keep score. Make sure that you trust your picker again. Oh, I didn't stop by for rah-rah. I stopped by to call for, to invite out into the universe the very best version of you. I stopped by to ask you, are you willing? Are you willing to do what you've never done before, say what you've never said before, so you can be the man, the woman you've always known yourself to be? Are you willing? Are you willing to tell any part of you that doesn't serve your future, any part of the procrastination and the worry and the doubt and the am I good enough? Anybody know what I'm talking about? Yes, yes? And the who can I be over there if I've been this person over here? If you're willing to stop and look at all of it and say, I appreciate you. You got me to this point. But in order for me to go further, I'm going to have to leave you here. Because you limited thinking, you doubtful Debbie, you naysayer, you vision buster, you can't quite fit in my future. I have lives to transform. I have people to inspire. I have children to ignite. I have loves to create. I have so much to do. I can't quite take you with me, but it's been real. I just stopped by to see if you're willing to do that. I just stopped by to see if you're willing to do that. Because I got to tell you, I could not stand on this stage and on all the stages around the world and touch 50, 60, 70, 80 million. I could not do that. I could not have 7 bestsellers and have lunch with Oprah and dinner with Steve Harvey and whatever with Dr. Phil and hang out. I couldn't do that had I not talked to a part of me that I had grown complete with. I could not do that if I didn't identify something in me that was being born and that I was the midwife to, and to allow that to be born and to realize that I was impregnated with my own greatness. I couldn't do that. And so if God would use a little ordinary chick like me from South Central LA, but what can happen to you and what could come through you? So I just stopped by. I stopped by to ask you, are you ready? Are you willing? Because most people sign up for the goal, and this is my new awareness. They sign up for the goal, and you focus on the goal, and you get really, really committed to the goal, and then you got to go through something to get to the goal, and then you sit the goal down. I'm going to invite you, don't sign up for the goal. Sign up for the inconvenience it's going to cost you. Sign up for that. sign up. I sign up every day to the inconvenience. The goal looks sexy. The inconvenience looks costly. But if you sign up for the inconvenience, then the goal will take care of itself. Every day say yes to whatever it takes, no matter what. Yes, yes? Talk about love. I want to play a piece. I'm going to ask them to play this piece for you guys. If you guys can prep the piece, it's going to be a familiar voice. Still yourself, take anything out of your hands. By the way, I love for you to take notes. I'm a coach. I love transformation. I teach a lot of courses. This is not going to be that kind. This is a cellular conversation. You don't even know what to write down right now. They're like, missed it again. How'd she say that? Don't worry about it. Let your cells take notes. We'll have plenty of time if you choose. We want to do that kind of learning, but at some point, just a cellular conversation. So I'm going to ask the sound team, thank you guys for your wonderful contribution. You guys are ready. I just want you to sit still, and I'm going to take you on a journey. It's going to seem like you know where it's going initially, but y'all know me. Those of you who know me, it's going to have a curve. I want you to listen with your eyes open or eyes closed. You've heard this piece before. It's familiar, but it's different now. It's different right now in 2020 in this room with nearly 1,000 people from many, many different countries. So just hear it for the first time. Again, eyes open or eyes closed, whichever you choose. If you would play that piece. And I'll just play a few minutes.
I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
So I want you just to sit with that for a moment, turn that off, to sit with that, take a deep breath in. And ask yourself, what's my dream? What's my dream? Begin to feel your feet on the floor, open your eyes, come back into the room. I was at a conference. I told my tribe yesterday, this place is sacred to me, the Westin Hotel, because I started my dreaming at this hotel 22 years ago. This was the hotel of the conference that I went back to 42 times. This is the hotel when I'd have Jelani, my son, who's now 26 this year, I'd have the child care pick him up right there in the lobby, right before I went on stage, because I couldn't afford to have child care all day. So I'd have a la carte child care. Well, how much? It costs that much for a whole day? How much it costs for 2 hours? This was the hotel right there in the pit. We used to call that the pit. That's where I first learned how to do a snap. Right there in that carpet area outside by the bar. I walked by the other night as I registered, and I stopped, and I just looked at it. It didn't dawn on me what hotel I was in until I got here. And I went, whoa, that's where it all began. That's where I gave myself permission to have a dream. I play that song to you because in another conference room right across, another ballroom, that song, that speech would play, and I would get up out of that room, and I'd run out the door every single time. Something about Dr. King's voice would absolutely make me so uncomfortable. And it didn't make sense, because here I was in a room of 800 people, less than 2% were people of color. I should be really excited that Dr. King's message is being played in this room, but I wasn't. I was uncomfortable. I kept getting up and running out every single time we played it. 9 times, I told you I went to the conference 42 times, 9 times when this instructor played this message, I would run, and finally another instructor saw me running out. He saw this consistency. He ran out behind me and he said, "What are you running out for?" And I kept searching and searching and searching. I couldn't figure out why. And then it came to me. I said, I don't know if I'm willing to pay the full price for my dream the way Dr. King was willing. And I can't shake the dream, though. Anybody know about that? I can't shake the dream, but I'm scared of the dream. Anybody with me? One hand up, 2 hands up. Yes, yes. I can't shake the dream, but I don't have the details for the dream. I don't quite know how to make the dream happen, and it's quite lonely on the journey to get to the dream. So the cost of the dream seems really high, but the dream won't go away. And every time he plays that daggone message, I'm shaking again about the dream. Because Dr. King showed me to have a dream is powerful and do anything for it. Fast forward 13 years, true story. 13 years later, I'm driving down the highway, 405 freeway, heading from LA to San Diego. I have a speaking engagement. Didn't really look at all the details of the speaking engagement. I'm in my convertible with my girlfriend. Music is playing. We're playing N.D.I.R.E. going down. I got my afro rocking, my shades on. My girl. Now, this is my girl that when we don't know to this day who had $10. But by the end of the day, we both had 5. That kind of girl. And all of a sudden, I'm like 20 minutes from the event, and there's a traffic jam, and the traffic jam just stops. I kid you not. I'll stop you for a moment, and I'll take you on your own journey. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. It's 5 years from today. 2025, the end of February. And every single one of your desires and intentions have come true. As a matter of fact, you've surpassed them. The number in the bank account, see a number. Now double it. The house, picture it. Now add 2 or 3 acres. The family, add 3 more levels of laughter to your husband, your wife, or your children's voice. Feel it in yourselves. Feel it. Take a deep breath, feel it. Now I want to take you on a journey, and this is your journey, this is your life, this is your truth. 5 years from today, 5 years from leaving this event, you walk out of this event and you get busy like you've never gotten busy before. You produce like you've never produced before. You inhale, you exhale, you breathe, you expand, you contract, you play full out. And now it's all double what you thought it would be. I want you to see yourself in a car. If we can play a little background music in the background to help us. A little background music. I want you to see yourself in a car, driving to your home. Now, this is your weekend car. I told you that it's better than what you thought. And you drive up to your home. You push in the code and the gate opens. And you drive another half mile up to the house. I told you it's better. You pull up to the front door. I want you to see yourself. What car are you in? What clothes are you wearing? How does your skin look? You're so healthy. You're so fit. You're powerful on every level. You get out your car. You go through the double doors. You look down at the Tavernine floors. You look up at the cathedral setting chandelier. You smell the lavender, smell the lilac, smell the lemon, smell that aroma, that rosemary that gives you that sense of ease. You hear the music. Come on, you guys. Create your future, create your reality. You immediately hear laughter. Laughter's coming from the other room. You sit down your goods and you go into the other room, and in this dining room that seats 20 people, your dining room, are all your family members laughing and talking. See, you have them over for just another family gathering, and then they gather around the table, and oh, by the way, the family member that you have the biggest struggle with, they're right beside you because you've healed that. You're now in harmony. Breathe that in. Take a deep breath in. And your family begins to tell you thank you. We want to toast you because you did something 5 years ago and nothing is the same. And all of a sudden you accelerated your pace of success and growth and joy and abundance. And now we get to witness. Food is all across the table. You sit down at the table with your family, look at the food, and everyone made their best dish. So you know it's going to be good. And all of a sudden, 10 minutes into eating, you realize, oh my stars, I have to go to this event. You guys stay here at the house. You can sleep in any one of the 10 bedrooms that I have. I have more than enough space for you, family. You get back in your car, you drive up the highway, and as you're driving up the highway, you run into a traffic jam. And you're like, oh my God, I got like 15 minutes to make it. Feel your urgency, feel the frustration building in your body. You know traffic jams. Stop and go, red lights, feel it, see it. And you get really nervous. And you get really frustrated. You get 10 minutes out and you're like, I don't know if I'm going to be on time. I think I'm going to be late. You call the host of the event and you said, I think I'm going to be late. They said, that's okay. We're going to wait for you. You're the one we're waiting to hear. You arrive to the event about 15 minutes late. You walk out on stage and you look out at the audience, and there are 10,000 people waiting to hear you. You open up your piece of paper and you begin to talk. And the first thing you say is, thank you. And before you can say another word, someone from seat number 7,850 yells out, no, thank you. And then another person from seat 660 yells out, thank you. And then seat 425, thank you. Seat 51, thank you. Row 1, thank you. Seat 7,856, thank you. And then one by one, every single person, I want you to picture this, yells out, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for doing the work, thank you for dreaming big, thank you for walking alone, thank you for investing in yourself, thank you for being willing to be talked about, ostracized, and judged, thank you for spending your last dime on you. Thank you for dreaming. Thank you for praying. Thank you for the tears. Thank you. 25 minutes go by and you never get a word in. And you realize that you didn't come to speak. You came to hear them say thank you to you. And when they finally stop 25 minutes later, you say, I'm going to close every door in this stadium. And I'm going to leave one door open. And I'm going to stand at that door. And I'm going to give every single one of you a hug before you leave. Now, it's going to take a while. But if you're down, I'm down. And everyone says in unison, yes, yes. And you stand at that door and you hug that 60-year-old woman. And as you hug her, she says, thank you. Thank you for letting me know it's not too old. I'm not too old to dream. And the next person in line, you hug that 15-year-old boy, and he says, thank you for letting me know I'm not strange. And then you hug that 40-year-old woman. She says, thank you for reminding me to put myself first. Come on, you guys. Hear yourself. And you hug that 50-year-old man, and he says, thank you for letting me know that I don't have to have my ego first. Thank you for letting me know I can have tattoos and still be spiritual and still be godly. I can have made some mistakes and still have rich content. I can be afraid and still be courageous. All you hear is thank you, thank you, thank you until 2 a.m. Take a deep breath. Feel your feet on the floor. Come back in the room. Open your eyes. Your future is an intention and a thought away. I take you back to the freeway that I was on, the freeway that's right here, by the way. I'm on the highway with my girlfriend. We're literally 20 minutes from needing to be at this event, but the traffic jam says we're going to be 40 minutes before we get there. True story. I told this story once, and one of the people that was in the traffic jam was in the audience. I look at my girlfriend. I said, oh, my gosh, Sharita, we're not going to make it in time. We're not going to make it in time. We're not going to make it in time. She said, Lisa, remember that guided visualization we did 13 years ago? What if this is your traffic jam? I just start crying. I know it's not my traffic jam, but that's amazing. That's an amazing thought, but I know it's not, but that's an amazing thought. And right at that time, my girlfriend, Sharita, who was driving, she said, excuse me, sir, can we get in front of you? We're really in a rush. Can we get in front of you? And this guy waves out his hand, just kind of nonchalant. He goes, sure. We get in front of him. He leans out the window. He says, I'm sure you need to get there because I'm going to see you. I just start crying. One person on the highway is going to see me. Oh my God, that's amazing. And then this woman drives up next to me in what seems to be like a 2025 Escalade. And her window goes down, and this beautiful blonde hair and hazel eyes. She says, what time do you go on? I was like, I'm not sure. I think as soon as I get there. She goes, well, I'm going to stay right behind you because I came to only see you. And I just started crying. And as we're driving down the highway, people are looking and bumping their horn and waving. And I'm like, I'm telling my girlfriend, how do they recognize me? I got my shades on. She goes, you're an African-American woman with an auburn afro and a convertible. Are you kidding? I was like, but my shades. I kid you not. We get to the off-ramp, and the off-ramp is gridlocked. And I'm like, I'm not going to get off the off-ramp. I kid you guys not. I don't know how it occurred. But all of a sudden, people begin to drive up on the embankment, one by one. And they cleared the path like the Red Sea had parted. And as I drove through, I'm just staring left and right. And all I could hear them say, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your work in the secret. Thank you for writing the book. Thank you. They were thanking me for their thing, but I promise you, it was as if it was divinely appointed. I get to this arena, and there's not 10,000 people there. There were 11,400 people in the arena waiting on me. So when I tell you what you think about is your future waiting to come forth. So mind your thoughts. I had no idea that highway was going to be my highway. You have no idea of the breath taking future that's on its way to you, that's asking you, please let me through, please let me through. When you decide that you are good enough, when you decide you give yourself permission to have it all, have all the love, have all the health, have all the wealth, have all the abundance, have all the prosperity, when you give yourself permission, it's like the inside of your champion is saying, let me out. Ooh, let me out. And when you let me out, I ain't ever going back in. And it doesn't all come out in one time. You become the midwife or the mid-husband to parts of it, to pieces of it. It's not all in one. I look at the woman I am today. I look at the people that I sit and I counsel. I look at the accolades, I look at the sizzle reels, I hear the stuff. Life is different for me now. When I walk through the airport, I look at this life and I go, that's a long way from being right here on Century Boulevard, just about 3 miles up the road, right past Crenshaw, in the government's assistance office, right on this street. It's a long way, but it was just one little leap away, each leap. And so I ask you, who is trying to be born through you? That when you love you more, when you turn up your love, when you turn up your forgiveness, forgiveness of self, forgiveness of others, when you unhook the shackles to blame, shame, guilt, regret, and anger, when you say, you don't fit in my breathtaking future, what occurs? What occurs when you turn around and you say, hold on, I want to meet all 360 degrees of my fabulosity. And I don't say that in a braggadocious way. I say that in the way of servanthood. Use me. Use all of me. I don't want to leave here with anything in me. Take all of me. Take everything. I want to leave here absolutely empty and tired. After all, I want to rest in peace. What happens? What happens? What happens when you play like that? What happens when you're willing? Sir, can you come and help me down off the stage, please? Sure. He's like, can I do it? Yes, you can. Thank you. So I just came here. I came here to find out, what are you willing to do that you've never done before? What are you willing to say that you've never said before? Everything you've already done has already been done. So, 08. What can you do that you've never seen? How can you love? What words can you discover? Go study the lexicon and thesaurus. Use all new words this year. Expand. Expand the way you love. Expand the way you love yourself. Expand how quick you bounce back to self. Expand how fast you press pause on any negative self-talk. How can you ask for your me time? How can you ask for your recharge time? How can you celebrate what looks like a failure but really is a lesson wrapped in sandpaper? How can you? How can you cause me to want to be a better woman because I crossed your path? That because we sucked up oxygen in the same space, I want to be a better person because I witnessed you from a distance in the grocery store. How? How can you be unapologetic and non-negotiable? See, so many of you want to play big in the world, but you keep making it optional. And every time it gets too hard, you sit it back down. The moment you make it non-negotiable, not an option, slide every option off the table, you're not wondering about the mountain and how big it is because you said you must bow down. Yes, yes. But you have to have a level of certainty for you. You got to believe in you, bank on you, trust in you like you never have before. And every single thing that you've ever done, every single thought you've ever had, every single decision you've ever made, built you for such a time as this, and you are perfect for the job. Perfect. No one has your unique, unrepeatable fingerprint. No one can do it like you. And if you sit down and you set down on all of us, I am not here to let you off the hook. Because we need a lot more people like us doing this work. Yes, yes. I don't look at the world and get frustrated. I look at the world and get busy. Yes, yes. I don't get frustrated with what's going on. I just tone up. Yes, yes. Why? We got everything we need. And you and I. I stopped by to touch your heart, crack your heart, challenge your heart, open up your heart. I stopped by. I stopped by to ask you, are you willing to walk by yourself if no one else will walk with you? Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to change the way you show up, change the way you strut? Are you willing to say, well, maybe I can't walk forward. Maybe I got to do it sideways for a minute. Maybe I got to do it backwards for a minute. Are you willing to be radical for yourself? Yes, yes? I just stopped by to ask the questions. My brother opened up with questions. It's the quality of your answer lives in the quality of your question. People want to make me extraordinary. I'm not extraordinary. I'm an ordinary woman who chooses to make extraordinary decisions every daggone day. Now what that means is if we all woke up ordinary, we all off to the same start. And how you going to end your day and what you going to do today? And so I just stopped by. I stopped by to remind you that you woke up with everything, say everything, with everything you need to do, everything you need to do with everyone who needs to have it done with. That you can't pick anything up from Mind Valley. You didn't come here to get something. You came here to have everything, and everything you've always been be affirmed. I just stopped by to ask you, so if you knew all that, what would you do? How would you play as if you couldn't fail? How would you love as if you've never been betrayed? How would you leap as if you've never busted your chin before? How would you invest in you as if you've never lost any money? How would you do it? Can you do it so fresh, so new, so amazing? Can you just be you in a way? Hold on, I got to stay in the light. It's all about the lighting. Chocolate will completely disappear over there in the corner. I love y'all, but I'll disappear. So I just want to know, are you willing? Would you hold that for me, sweetie? I wanted to let you know that Dr. King, Marcus is running. Thank you, Marcus. Dr. King gave that amazing speech. But what many people don't know is he also wrote this letter. And I love reading this because it reminds me that I get to be a superhero. I get to have an S on my chest. Just remember that the S is in Crayola. You get to put it on every day. But your humanity is important. To remember that you are choosing to be super. And you're ordinary. You're choosing to have a perfect life experience in the spirit of imperfection. Dr. King says, almost immediately after, just listen to this. I want you to listen to, that's the same man who made it possible for us to be here. But listen to this. Many people don't know about this. It's the best kept secret. Almost immediately after the protest started, we began to receive threatening phone calls and letters. They increased as time went by. By the middle of January, they had risen to nearly 40 threats a day. From the beginning of the protest, both my parents, Coretta's parents, always had an unconscious and often conscious fear that something fatal might befall us. And I want you to hear this man's commitment to the dream. They never had any doubt about the rightness of our actions, but they were concerned about what might happen to us. My father made the beaten path between Atlanta and Montgomery throughout the days of the protest. Every time I saw him, we went through this deep feeling of anxiety together, because I knew that my every move was driving him deeper and deeper into a state of worry. See, we make Dr. Martin Luther King, but we forget he's Martin. He was someone's son. He was someone's father. During those days, he could hardly mention the many harassments that Coretta, the baby, and I were subjected to without ending up in tears. As the weeks passed, I began to see that many of the threats were real. So I felt myself faltering and growing in fear. This is the best part. He said, one day, a white friend told me that he had heard a reliable source had plans to take my life. For the first time, I realized that something could, in fact, happen to me. One night at mass meeting, I found myself saying, if one day you find me sprawled out dead, I do not want you to retaliate with a single act of violence. I urge you to continue protesting with the same dignity and discipline you have shown so far. A strange silence came over the audience. One night toward the end of January, I settled in bed late after a strenuous day. Coretta had already fallen asleep, and I was just about to doze off when the telephone rang, and an angry voice said, "Listen, nigger, we've taken all we want from you. Before next week, you'll be sorry you came to Montgomery." I hung up, but I couldn't sleep. The fears had come down on me all at once. I got out of bed and began to walk the floor. I heard these things before, but for some reason that night, it got to me. I turned over and I tried to go back to sleep. I couldn't. I was frustrated. I was bewildered. So then I got up. I finally went into the kitchen and I heated a pot of coffee, and I was ready to give up. You guys, Dr. Martin Luther King. He said, with my cup of coffee sitting untouched before me, I tried to think of a way to move out of the picture without appearing to be a coward. I sat there and thought about the beautiful little girl who had just been born. I'd come in night after night to see that little smile. I wanted to see her grow up. Something said to me. I asked God, can I quit? I'm afraid if I quit, the other people will quit as well. But I'm afraid. I cried out to God, God, please, let me quit. And then God said to me, you can call on me, but you've got to call on that something in you. You got to find a way to make a way out of no way. With my head in my hands, I bowed over the kitchen table and I prayed out loud. And the words I spoke to God at midnight in a very weary voice, Lord, I'm down here trying to do what's right. I think I'm right. I'm here taking a stand for what I believe to be right. But Lord, I must confess that I am weak now. I am faltering. Anybody been there? Yes, yes? Yes, yes. I read this to you because this is Dr. King's voice. So I ask you, if Dr. King can have a dream and have fear, then what can you do? That's our leader. Who are you? Dr. King has asked us to pick up the dream and to have a dream in the next level. And I'm going to ask you, are you willing to do that? Are you willing? Are you willing to do that thing you've never done before? Are you willing to stand at the edge of your own greatness? Are you willing to look at your fears? Are you willing to recognize that you can be afraid? Are you willing to look at the fact that there is always healing to come? There's always growth to come. There's no arrival. Are you willing? And then in the space of that, are you still willing to lean to the edge? Feel the breeze of possibility, not knowing if you will fly or fall. Yes, yes. Are you willing? Are you willing to not quite know what's there, but that something is there is greater than you? Are you willing to say, my life has to make a huge difference? You've heard me say this before, that there's a birthday and a transition day, and in between that is all the opportunity in the world. That's that dash that says, are you willing to disrupt my life? You're not here. You're not put here to leave my life calm. You're here to be a disruption for my life. You're here to cause me to want to be someone I've never been, do something I've never done because you crossed my path. Are you willing to show me that greatness? I read that letter, and I often read that letter because I have to give myself permission to play big and be afraid. I read that letter because I want to see the humanity of Dr. King, not the giant, because more days than not, I'm Jelani's mom. I'm Jimmy Nichols' daughter. I'm that woman searching for love inside myself and with someone else. I'm finding my own breath. And so I want to read that letter because I want to find my edge for 2020. And I want to see, who can I become? And I ask you, who can you become? Who have you been? Who are you now? And who's being born through you? And bigger than that, how will you change the lives of the people who will cross your path because you decided to stand up? How will you inspire me? How will you show me who I can be? I look at my grandmother, she's 92 this year. My grandmother said, baby, people are going to write about you. They like you. Do yourself a favor and don't read their writings. Don't read the press. And when you get older and there's nothing else to do but sit in your rocking chair like me, read their writings and their opinions of you and be entertained by who they thought you were while all the time you knew who you were. I'm going to ask you, please stand up. When you look at this room, when I look at this room, when we look at this room, there's a Dr. Martin over there. There's a Nelson Mandela right there. There's a Mother Teresa right there. There's a Mahatma Gandhi right there. There's a Cesar Chavez right there. There's anyone that we would consider to be the solution standing right beside us. Take a deep breath. Look at the person to your left and right. You have no idea who they are becoming. You have no idea who they are becoming. Repeat after me. Stretch me. Stretch me. Challenge me. Challenge me. Make me own my greatness. Don't let me off the hook. My dash matters. My dash matters. Hold me accountable to the change I'm to make, to the inspiration I'm to bring, to the motivation that I am. Hold me accountable. I want to be held accountable. I'm not afraid of my greatness. I'm not afraid of my imperfections. I am genius. Ever evolving. I am breakthrough. Ever happening. I am enough. Take a deep breath. I'm just sharing with you what I've had to say day after day after day. Because when I began to travel the world and people told me who they saw, but I didn't see that person, I had to borrow their lenses. So if today you have to borrow someone else's lenses of you, let me help you do that. Turn to a partner. Turn to a partner and totally face them. And totally face them. Turn to a partner. For some of you, this is exactly what you needed. For others, it's exactly what you need. It's going to make you totally uncomfortable. Take a deep breath. Silence. And for some of you, this is just a journey. My brother always sets me up with the opportunity to have after parties with people and after connections. And I think today I'll be in here later for those of you who want a deeper dive into this experience. But right now, I want you to see someone seeing you. So look at your partner. Repeat after me. You look amazing. You look amazing. I'm so grateful to be your partner. Everything about you is wonderful. Everything about you is perfect in this moment. Your hair, your eyes, your skin, your lips, your hips, your body. It is its own perfection. You woke up this morning 100% ready and enough. I want to take a moment to thank you for all you've done to arrive to this room, the way you've sacrificed, the way you've given of yourself, all that it's cost you. I want to let you know that we're grateful. And for every person in your life who couldn't say thank you, please allow me to say thank you on their behalf. And as you move forward, and as you play big, and allow your champion to come out, you may have doubtful moments. You may question if you can do it. Remember, I stood in front of you. I looked in your eyes, and I told you this. When your faith wanes, borrow my faith in you. When you get exhausted, borrow my strength. Take a deep breath. Repeat after me. I see you. I honor you. I celebrate you. I love you. Take a deep breath. High five or hug. Hands up. Keep standing. Now look at me talking to yourself. Hand over your heart. 2020 was designed for me. I spent all these years preparing for such a time as this. I have everything I need. I've grown. I'm humble. I'm grateful. And I got a badass tribe. Today is the first day of the rest of my life. And today is the first day of the best part of my life. Y'all watch out, because here I come. High five your neighbors. It's been my time. I love you. I appreciate you.